Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I think this is my second video. Um, I was actually forced to drop a video every day, but oh, oh, that can't happen, guys. No way, no way. But yeah, I hope you guys are good. I hope you guys are chilling. Um, Today's video is just me talking about Crepitos and the journey that I've had so far, some of the harshest lessons that I learned, and how we got to where we are today. Right. So we kicked off in 2023 on the 19th of December, right? And it has been a downward slope most of the part, right? 2024, I remember we weren't struggling with sales. The biggest problem was our pricing. And with our pricing, it was hard for us to see the profits that we were making. We were actually making a loss. We were not even making break even because every time we had to restock, we had to find the money elsewhere, just to sort of like top up on the money that we had made on sales, right? So we were tanking because I lost trust in an investor at the time, someone who put money into the business. I lost trust in that person, or that person lost trust in the business, right? So we went on a full year without making any sales. And then 2024, later on that year, we were like, I was this close actually to like quitting on Crepitos and the business in by itself, you know, this close. And then I remember I was still on Facebook at the time. I saw an ad for the FMBYSA accelerator. I was like, well, shot, let me apply. Let me apply. Applied, and then I lost my phone. I think. I don't know what happened, but I lost my phone during that period of application, and there was a test that we were supposed to do. I got a phone, I got access to my emails. I think 3 weeks after the deadline of that test that we were supposed to do on the FMBO, said to get in, right? Did it quickly, got a hold of one of the team members, and I was like, yo, this is what's going on, whatnot. Okay. This is now 2025, right? I remember I was at school. I get a call. It's this little Banyani, yes. I'm calling you from Fetola. Congratulations, you've been selected in our fourth cohort of the FMBOISA program. I was like, get it. Get it. You know? And it was a shocker, really. It was a shocker because we were doing bad. You know, Crepitos was doing bad. And before it started, or not before it started, before we changed the name to Crepitos, it was the Libza Cafe before, right? It was the Libza Cafe before. Okay. I got in. I was like, I'm gonna make the most out of this. Went through the program, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about branding. I learned a lot about financial management. I learned a lot about um, respecting the business's money, right? I learned a lot about respecting the business's assets. inventory, respecting the business in by itself. Budgeting, costing, you know, looking at overheads. I worked with great mentors. Eugenie was probably the best mentor that I've ever worked with in my entire life. She was not easy. Mm-mm, mm. She was not easy at all. But I'm where I am today because of her input. You know. Okay, fine. Got in, and then I remember at that time we wanted to transition from just selling ice cream to also selling coffee as well. So this was when now I had to get out of my comfort zone, getting out of my mother's house and stepping into the wilderness as a businessman. So we're like, Emanabo, Los Toca, we're gonna go stock on Hagen and Mag, we're gonna go stock on Nescafe, we're gonna go stock on Five Roses. They gave us a seed fund of 5,000 Rand. So I bought two air pots, just really big flasks. I think there was 6.2 liters or 4.2 liters, I'm not sure. And every day, every morning, I fill that up with hot boiling water. Funny enough, hey, those flasks were good. 3, 4, 10 hours later, the water's still boiling hot, you know. Fine. So we did that, got those two air flasks or air pods, and then I was like, fine, I'm gonna go to Kopano Hospital and I'm gonna go sell coffee there. Arrived, mind you, I didn't have a car and I didn't have um something to help me transport um my business, if I can call it that, to Kopano. So it was heavy. It was heavy. It's in the morning, it's cold. Get to Kopano, there's a lady that sells tea there, and she's like, I need to leave. Right. I need to leave. We can't be selling the same thing. Yada 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 yada. And I'm like, you know what? Whatever. So I go. Get to Checkers in Auckland Park. And at that time, I remember I was with. So I don't have a father. I don't have a dad. Right. So there's someone who I've come to see as my father, which is that divorcee, my friend's dad. Right. So I remember I called him and I said, "Bah, where are you now?" Because he transports children to school. So I called him and I said, "Bah, where are you now? Because I need help just to get the stuff back home." Right. And just restructure. And then he was like, so he came and picked me up. And then, oh yeah, he got me a Checkers. He got me a Checkers, right? And then I remember as we were getting out, he was like, why don't you sit here next to these ladies that sell um, fat cakes and scones in the morning? Stepped out, asked them, can I? They were like, yeah, sure, pull up. Those are the best 3 months of my life. And if he wasn't there, I probably wouldn't have seen it. I probably wouldn't have seen it because I wanted Copano. But Yeah, God's redirection. So that was us during winter. We sold coffee like that. And then winter ended. And then we were restructuring. Okay, cool. Now what? So then we went back to ice cream, you know? And also at the time, I was like, I want to do events as well. So I remember we had selected three events that we were going to do. It was Yoji, Sunset Social, and Val Fest. And I learned some of the harshest lessons at these events. Painful. I think the most painful lesson that I learned was at Yoji. The most painful one that I learned. That's when it kicked that, you know what, not every event. Not every event is a good setting for Crepitos, right? Because when we got there, it was a lot went on, really. A lot went on. But I think it was at USU when I realized that I needed to restructure how I approach certain events, right? And events like that aren't ideal, really, for Crepitos, right? So we then said we're gonna do events. So we were like Sunset Social. Sunset Social for us, really, we were like, even if we don't make profit or come back with money, for us, really, it's just about getting our name out there. And I'd like to believe that we have a healthy relationship, even though when we started out and while we were still the Libs Cafe, Sunset Social was one of the first events that we did, right? And it was amazing. It was amazing. It's an outdoor movie picnic. It's an outdoor movie event, and it it works, right? It works, right? But over time, because like I said, the main investor that we had at the time lost faith in the business, so we missed out on I think two or three Sunset Social events. I can't remember. After we did that one, so then we did the one last year. I think it was on the 19th of November. 19th of November, 29th of November. I can't remember exactly. And it was far. And it was far. I had a time. Um, Met a lot of great people. It was just vibes. You know, it was just perfect. Best event ever. You guys should go check them out on social media. Sunset Social on Instagram. Um, and we had a blast, right? And then we did Val Fest. And for them, the issue was the Val, right? The Val is the issue when it comes to events like this. So they wanted to move it to Joburg. Nonetheless, we also had a ball at Val Fest. You know, it was didn't make enough money that day, but it was a ball. You know, so this was us now after winter, and we also got into phase two of the FMBYSA program, right? And that's when now really we wanted to focus on the growth of Crepitos, you know. So then we were like, I wanted it to become a community based coffee shop or cafe, whereas we focus on community of people and we focus on what it is that we're actually trying to build, right? So we did that. We then started a rant club, right? Which has been successful. You know, we started a rant club, and it has been somewhat growing. You know, but I think now I'm at a point whereby now we have to really, really get out there. And so we were like, okay, cool. High school pop ups, you know. The only challenge now is that winter is approaching, and now, yeah, you know, winter is approaching, and, we have to somewhat be cognizant of that, be aware of that. Because even if we are going to do high school pop ups, because our plan was we're going to set up every last Friday of the month, right, at a random high school, right. We have to be aware that it is going to be winter soon, right, and we're starting with our first high school breakfast bar on the 1st of May. The selection pool is Phoenix High School, General Smith High School, Riverside High, as well as Hoër School, Trida Fira. Right. So that is something that we have to be aware of, but we were like, nah, 2026, we going all out. Right? We going all out, and we are going to our target market. We are going to our we are going to our target market, right? And with events, we noticed that the events that we should be really focusing on are the events where we know our target market will be there. You know, we know our target market is at Sunset Social with our mocktails and whatnot. Also for our breakfast with our mocktails and ice cream and whatnot. By kiddies events, high school events, and all of that for our ice creams as well. Right. So that was really a painful lesson, really. But it had to be done. That mistake had to be made in order to learn. Right. So then, yeah, man, we're focusing on the high school pop-ups. Yeah. So the journey up until now has been great. Learned a lot of lessons. Won an award at FMB, Shining Star Award. I was nominated twice. Um, Really, I've learned so much about my business, about my customers, about my employees, if I can call my cousin and Timoloho my employees. But I've learned so much about them, about that I'm really grateful about this business. Extremely grateful. Um, my goal now with him, and it's not my only business. There's still Child Stop, which we're launching outside of City Bay College in about a week. I wanted to launch this week. The only issue is transportation, really. But as soon as I get that sorted out, that is something that I will. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, as I was saying, we still have Charles Stop. We're going to launch outside of Citibank College in Vereeniging. The only issue is transportation. But as soon as that's sorted out, really, and either way, I'm not trying to be perfect with it, really. You know, if I can get a bicycle with a trailer, let's go. Let's go. You know, but yeah, that has just been my journey with Crepitos. But I will say this: I believe that I struggled for a long time with Crepitos, mainly because I didn't put God in the center. You know, I didn't put God in the center, and that is what really hindered me from growing. You know, I was at First Fridays um, last week, and all I could hear in my heart was obedience. All I could hear in my heart was, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for God. You would be nothing if it wasn't for God. So therefore, why aren't you surrendering everything? Why aren't you surrendering your flesh, or not surrendering, but crucifying your flesh? Why aren't you just denying yourself for the greater good? You know. So I know I could have been further if I just centered God in everything. You know. But these lessons are here to be made, and I'm grateful for where I am today. You know, I'm grateful for the accolades that I've achieved so far. You know, and I don't know where God is taking me. I don't know where this business is taking me. But I just want to take it a day at a time. New faces, new people, new customers at a time. What I do know that is going to be challenged. I don't know if that sentence makes sense. But I'm not about to say English is not my mother tongue. That I'm not about to say. But I do know that a part of me that is going to be severely challenged is this part of me that is shy, that is scared to talk to people with the high school pop ups and child stop. That is going to be challenged severely, you know. Um, but yeah, that has been my story of how the journey has been. To summarize it, it has been fruitful. It has been really, really fruitful, you know. But yeah. See you guys in the next one.